Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Um, okay, it's another video. I thought I would carry on where I left off with my underrated guitar players. I did five on the first video, and I thought it was clearly not enough that I should be mentioning other people that perhaps some of you have never heard of. So I'm going to do another five for you, and I hope that perhaps some of you can, those people that don't know these people, can go and investigate. It's another five then, so I don't want to make it too long. I don't want to bore you too much, basically. Five exceptional players that really don't come up very often. The musical fraternity is another matter, of course. These people are, pretty well known, but the wider public are really not aware of these people. Okay, I've got a couple of CDs as well to show you, mixed in, but it's mainly vinyl. Okay, I'm starting with two German artists, actually. The first one really should get more attention. He's no longer with us. Passed away a few years ago, actually. Let me just take it out of this package here. And he really, really is something special. And this guy is called Manuel Gottschalk. This is his first solo album. And as you can see, it's called Inventions for Electric Guitar. His band, he made 4 or 5 albums, were called Ashra Temple, and they were very spacey, rocky. Hate this thing, but krautrock. They were viewed as being krautrock. And I think he made 4 albums as Ashra Temple. And then he decided to go alone and make this incredible record. Basically, what Manuel does is there's the inner sleeve. He uses the guitar and then hooks it up to all sorts of different keyboard effects and things, and comes out with this amazing sound. And effectively, there is no keyboards on it. It's his guitar. The big one from this particular album is a thing called Pluralis, which is on the second side. That is absolutely incredible, that thing. And this is effectively his only solo album, because after this one, he decided to call himself Ashra. But this is his solo album. Incredible album. When he passed away, there was a group of musicians that came in, and they played the whole of this album as a dedication to the man. Fantastic album, this one. But I think the ones that are popular, but his Ashra albums, his first couple were just him on his own. And I'm showing you the second one from them. And this is called Blackouts. This probably is my favourite album from him. Again, he's just playing the guitar. Shuttlecock and Lotus on the second side there are truly extraordinary pieces of music. I think the main one from here that people tend to go with is a thing called Midnight on Mars. If there's any footage of that, I'll try and send it. And he moved to Virgin Records when he started this project called Ashwood. So he was getting, a lot of promotion. I think you could, from Richard Branson was a great lover of his music, as was John Peel. John Peel played Ashra a great deal. John Peel was definitely one of the bit of a legend in England as a DJ. But this came out. It was recorded in September and October '77 in Berlin, and actually released in 1978. You would never believe that this album is just, a guitar. Amazing album. So the first one then is Manuel Gotcha. This came out in, when did he record this one? Actually, I think this was recorded in '76 or '75 and released in '76. And this is another one. I'm just showing you two from his catalogue here, but yeah. And let me just read you on here on the back of this album. It's revered, this one. The incredible career of the electric guitar since the beginning of rock and roll times, and my personal experiences on that instrument with the last 6 years gave me the possibility to lead the guitar into a new way of performance, electronic music. And my God, does he. Okay, so Manu Gotcha then. Again, I will try and post something for you. The second German guitar player, I think maybe you might know this guy when I show you the other album. But this is Michael Rother, or Michael Rother in English, Michael Rother in German. This is Flammende Herzen, and this is his first solo record. And it is, again, an extraordinary thing. Very much like Manuel, Michael mixes the guitar with an electronic keyboard effect. And there's no one that these two, no one sounds like them at all. They're very much on their own when it comes to creating effects with the guitar. The other person I could probably name is the one that I mentioned in my previous video, and that's Michael Brook. But these two, Manuel and Michael, and Michael Brook, are the three that really can expand what you can do with the guitar. This is his first one then, his first solo album, but he's more well known for this one, Noe. This was done along with Klaus Dinger. Michael and Klaus were both with the early incarnation of Kraftwerk. So, but they weren't getting on. So they decided to form their own band. And this is from it was recorded in 1971, December, and released in 1972. If you've never heard Halligallo, you would never believe that was from 1972. It sounds like it could be recorded today. Not to take away from the rest of the album, the rest of the album is absolutely superb. But Hallo Gallo is truly ahead of the game. People tend to, quote Kraftwerk as being ahead of the game, when it comes to electronic music, along with Tangerine Dream, of course. This is definitely up there. Definitely up there. So this is Michael Rother's first group that he did before he went solo. They made 3 albums. So this, Noi 2 and Noi 74 they did. However, unfortunately, Michael and Klaus didn't really get on that well. They managed to make 3 albums together. A posthumous forced album came later. So what Michael decided to do was to get together with 2 other amazing musicians and form this band, Harmonia. I've just shown you an iconic album. Well, this is another one. And as you can see on there on the cover, it says Rother, Michael Rother from Neu, Mobius from Cluster, and Rodius from Cluster. So he got together with Mobius and Rodelius and did this album. It's something else. This was to go on and influence many, many people, not least David Bowie. But the track, again, is another track that you all need to hear. And, well, it's actually 2. Dino is the first track on the second side. And the first track on the first side is Vatusi. That's another incredible piece of music. This was recorded from June to November 1973 and was released in 1974. Guys, you need these 3 albums actually. So let me just put that over there while I'm showing this. So these 2 are truly and utterly iconic albums that feature Michael Rother, Neu, and Harmonia. Neu, like I said, they did 3 albums, and Harmonia did 3 albums. And then, like I said, Michael decided to go on his own. And this is it's still with yeah, I mean, you've got Jackie Leapsight here from Cam on here as well. So he's not entirely on his own. But this was recorded in September 1976. And I think it came out in 77. Yes, it did. It came out in 77. Absolutely amazing. And all these albums are being produced by Connie Plank. And Connie Plank was responsible for the early the early Kraftwerk albums I got there in the end. But this is his first solo, and it is incredible. So there we are. There's the 2 German guitar players that never ever get mentioned, and they should do, really. I'm now going to move on to an American chap that, again, what he can do with what he could do, he's no longer with us. With the guitar was something very special indeed. But instead of him linking it to a keyboard or whatever, he wasn't using anything at all. It was just his technique was so influential, and the types of guitars that he used were so unusual, and his overall technique was just incredible. And I'm talking about Michael Hedges. This is one of his albums called Aerial Boundaries. Oh man, this is amazing. It really, really is something else. There he is, looking very, very young indeed on here. He emerged in the late 70s, and he was really quite popular, actually, in America in the 80s. But unfortunately, he passed away in the mid-90s, which was a great, great shock. I think looking at his overall career, I think this is probably his bestseller and his most popular. The title track is just astounding. And what he tends to do, he'll bring in other musicians, not least Mike Manring on fretless bass on here, and he's got a flute player on here. But what he also does, he has got this harp guitar. Don't ask me how many strings are on it. It's just an amazing thing. How he plays the thing is beyond me. But it's so special and it's so unique the way it sounds, he's such a great player. And the proof of the pudding is that, he's gone on to influence so many players. He was a very, very close friend of Leo Kottke, who I mentioned in my first video. Chalk and cheese their styles, but they tended to put him on this new age label, really. That one there. And it's not that at all. Wyndham Records, and they went on for, still going, I think, for ambient music. Well, it's certainly not ambient at all. It's very, very, it's very chilled music, to be perfectly honest. But the guitar, the things that he can get from the guitar are truly extraordinary. He does a couple of covers. One on here, After the Gold Rush, not my favourite song, I have to say. But he does an amazing version of All Along the Watchtower, which is obviously a Bob Dylan song, but made popular by Jimi Hendrix. So that's the album I'm showing you. But there's, if you want to dip your toe, there is this amazing CD. It really, really is amazing, this thing. And I think All Along the Watchtower is on here. Lovely thing. There's all his albums that he made. Come back a little bit. It's a lovely CD, this. So it's, an ideal where and place to start with a chap. He really has gone on to influence so many guitar players, So, Michael Hedges, sadly no longer with us. Great guitar player. The chap that Michael certainly influenced, and he's certainly one of my favourite young-ish guitar players on the scene at the moment, and it was basically Aerial Boundaries, the album Aerial Boundaries, that got this lad to pick up the guitar, and this is Pittori Sariola. You've probably never heard of him. He's a Finnish young guitar player, and he has got this thing going on called, excuse me, he terms it slam music. It's a very, very percussive way of playing the guitar. There he is. He's no longer got any hair. He's shaved all that off now. This guy literally sounds like a band. Let me just read you a few lines from this. It says, Pittori Sariola is a very percussive style that he calls slam. It's an explosive mix sourced from different music, instruments, tunings and techniques. His 10 fingers make 10 instruments. He sounds like 2 guitars, a bass player and a percussionist rolled into one. No tapes, no loops. This is a style that few can master. And it goes on. So he really, really does sound like a band. You will never believe him when you see this guy, what he can do. My son, who's a guitar player, was so influenced by this chap. You know, this is the only one I've got from him, and this is his debut album, and it's called Silence, and it came out in 2007. There's the CD. It's an amazing thing. He has done, I think, he's on his 4th album now. But it's just incredible. On the CD here, there's a CD-ROM on it, and it shows you his technique of this slam percussive technique that he uses. It's just truly extraordinary thing. Amazing player. That's the back of the album there. It's not easy to find this, but go on YouTube, and if you don't quite believe what I'm saying, that he sounds like a band, type his name into YouTube and you'll see what I mean. The man is just incredible. He's definitely my favourite young, because I think he's 34 now, young guitar player. Absolutely incredible, this chap. Influenced by Michael Hedges. Okay, what we got left? Am I going to leave my... No. Yes, I am. I'm going to leave my... one of my favourites till last. If there's a guitar player that really does need to be mentioned more, and he's an acoustic player, and he's so precise, so beautiful the way he played. No longer with us again. Everybody knows who he is, but he's so revered now, and he wasn't when he was alive. And it's this chap, Nick Drake. This is a purely acoustic album, apart from a few keys on the piano on the title track. There he is. I think we all know who he is. This is his last album that he made. It's just a mere 29 minutes long. That's all you need. It's a very intense listen, this one. But it's all about his guitar playing. He's known as a singer, but check out his guitar. There's very few people that can master the technique that he had, and boy did he practice and practice and practice, until he got what he wanted right. The final track on the album is a thing called From the Morning. There's some amazing guitar playing on there. For me, this is the finest acoustic singer-songwriter album that I know of. I don't know any other better than this. So this was his final album. The one before this one, though, was the one that everybody thought was going to be a massive hit, but it wasn't. And this is this Brighter Later album. But although this album has got lots of people on there, it's got string quartets on there, it's got orchestra actually, and it's got people like John Cale and Dave Pegg on here. It's still, although he might have a band playing or he might have an orchestra playing, it's his guitar, it's his acoustic guitar that brings out the songs. It's just incredible, this playing on here. And the one that on here that I would recommend for you has got to be Northern Sky. That particular track is something else. Although it's orchestrated, okay, it's got John Cale on piano and organ and Celeste, which are beautiful. Listen to the acoustic guitar on there. That man is amazing, absolutely amazing. Wonderful, wonderful player. He gets mentioned a lot now because he is revered now, but he never comes up as a great guitar player. And he is. He was a great guitar player. The three albums, this one, Five Leaves Less was his first one, and Pink Moon, always mentioned. These three albums are always mentioned now. Quite right too, as well. But they're only mentioned in the way of a singer-songwriter. No one, very, very rarely mentions him as being a great guitar player, and he is. So Nick Drake. My final one then. Those people that know me know that I love this chap so much. Never comes up. He's a national American guitar player, and he plays. It's a national guitar, so it's like a slide type guitar. This album is purely acoustic. He uses a little bit of banjo on there as well. This album is Dirt Floor, and truly and utterly amazing. It's a very short album, a little bit like Pink Moon, but it's all you need. This guy is something else. Again, no longer with us. Fabulous guitar player. More. It is blues. Is more blues. A blues player, really. And this is stripped back, just him. It was on it. It was basically most of them were first takes on here. There's no one that sounds like Chris Whitley. This is one of Bruce Springsteen's favourite album. So this is his stripped back one. Beautiful thing. And the last one I want to show you is certainly in my top 10 albums of all time. And it's Chris again, but this time it's Rocket House. And what he's doing here, he is utilising his national guitar, but with electronics in there. This is utterly unique, this album. Incredible. Absolutely incredible, this album. I've never, I don't think anybody's done this before. It's what he's done is it's still blues, and but he's using electronics on there. So effectively, what he's done, he's got his national guitar and hooked it up to synths and synth banjos, and utilised it in that way. And then you've got DJ Logic on here. He's doing all these turntable electronic abstractions and things. You'd never think that it was going to work, but it does. It's incredible, this thing. For me, it's his best album. And it's, you've got Dave Matthews and Bruce Hornby on here as well. Yeah. Radar has got Bruce Hornsby on there, which is lovely. And To Joy a Revolution has got Dave Matthews on there, and it's a very unusual album. You would not think that it would work, but it does. It's an incredible piece of work. So he's using his national guitar hooked up to electronic effects, and it's amazing. So there's my last one. I've been on here far too long. So my last one then is Chris Whitley, Rocket House. Okay, just to finish up then, I just hope that you might want to go and investigate these amazing players. There are more that never seem to get a mention, but what I'm attempting to do, and others people have done it as well, not least Andy Ford, he's made a second one as well, is to promote these players that really are in the background of the normal public. These players, everybody knows it within the music fraternity, but not wider than that. Okay, I'm going to finish up there. Have a fantastic day, evening, and you never know, I might come up with another lot of underrated guitar players. Okay. Please, if you can, and you get round to watching this thing, please subscribe. And I would very, very much like to hear and see, if you do investigate, please make a comment and let me know what you think. Okay. Right. Okay. Bye-bye now.